Shelling right here. To the basement.
Thus begins our acquaintance with the volunteer Yuri. Even now, he manages to deliver humanitarian aid in Severodonetsk, destroyed and surrounded by Russian occupiers. Small groups of residents who remained in the city did not leave the shelters for a long time. And now, during the fierce street fighting, there are no safe places left in the city.
It's fragments falling. Here they are, look. That's what falls on our heads. It hasn't even turned black yet, because it cools down immediately.
Russians literally scorch Severodonetsk to earth. We barely have time to run into the usual entrance where there is not even a basement.
Now look, it will start to fall from the sky.
Is it from a projectile?
Mortar.
And you deliver aid like this every day under such shelling?
Every day. Well, there people are cooking, but it hits. And then where did all these victims come from? Where did the wounded come from? Because people are trying to survive somehow. There is no electricity, no water. Look, they cook on fires everywhere. And now maybe someone needs help to be taken to the hospital. But we can't break through to them. They just destroyed such a beautiful city. Destroyed people's lives. We lived in peace, and they just destroyed it. And in the basements where they are bombing now, 37 people are sitting. 40, also children. They don't want to leave.
Yuri's loyal helper is a Shar-Pei nicknamed Ben. The dog is so used to bursting shells that it sometimes even runs out of the entrance right during the shelling.
Ben, come here, come here. Go to the basement, right? And now left, Pau. Now give me 5.
Он постоянно со мной. Когда выстрел смотрит на меня и на подвал, на меня и на подвал.
He's constantly with me. When a shot is fired, he looks at me and at the basement. At me and at the basement. Sometimes it happens he runs to the basement himself and then looks out from there. And this was a rocket. It flew. That's my baby. Yeah, Ben. Where's the bombing? Who's there? A stranger? Sit down. Wait. It's been a bad couple of days. The shelling was all over the city. I mean, there was not a single yard, not a single place that was safe.
After 2 hours at the entrance, when the shelling subsides for a while, we come out into the street. The opposite house is on fire. This is how the Russian occupiers do not allow us to take humanitarian aid to the hospital, where 3 doctors, 1 intern and 7 nurses remain till this day. We hardly managed to get to the hospital until the next day. Exactly 1 year ago, I was undergoing treatment in this hospital and stayed on the 6th floor, literally in that ward of this medical facility. Today, the hospital is in ruins. Several shells flew into this building. You can see the consequences of the actions of the Russian occupiers. These are the shells that litter the medical campus in Severodonetsk. The shell did not explode. Those that do bring irreparable damage to the medical campus. Behind me you can see one of the buildings, and in the background you can hear explosions of such shells nearby. All 10 buildings of the medical campus are severely damaged, and it is very, very difficult to help people here. Right in the corridors, bleeding civilians are given first aid, and then they are being sent to the nearest city that is safer, for example, to Bakhmut or Dnipro. Inpatient treatment in Severodonetsk cannot be provided under constant shelling, without water, electricity and gas. A few days ago, 3 local doctors went missing. Their car was found blown up. Nobody knows how long the medical facility will operate in such conditions. The city is already partially occupied by the Russians. Their goal is to completely capture the temporary regional center of the Luhansk region. Reported by Marina Stepanenko, Anastasia Volkova, UATV News.